They say hindsight is 2020, meaning looking back on past events allows you to see clearer than before or while they were happening. Now, at the beginning of 2026, looking back at the COVID pandemic of 2020, it's clear that people in the world have changed negatively in many ways. It honestly feels like we're collectively experiencing a form of post-traumatic stress disorder from what was heaved upon us during that time. For the first time in history, the entire world's governments coordinated in lockstep to lock down their entire populations, keeping them inside their homes for periods of days, weeks, or months. All the world's governments forced us to wear masks, socially distance 6 feet away from everyone, compulsory quarantines and vaccinations for travel, and abide by illogical, ever-changing mandates all over a strain of the flu no more dangerous or deadly than the yearly seasonal flu that mostly affected the elderly or people with pre-existing conditions. To have such a coordinated and complete shutdown of basic societal functions worldwide for such an illogical reason was insane. But the precedent was set, and it must and should be lingering in the back of everyone's minds that the world's governments are willing and able to exercise that level of control over us, all for such a silly excuse as a flu. We now know that on October 18th, 2019, the World Economic Forum, in association with the Bill Gates Foundation, held Event 201, where they ran a 3.5-hour COVID pandemic simulation where they modeled how world governments would respond to such a scenario. A scenario which, far beyond any kind of chance or coincidence, would then play out in real life just a few months later. Now, it seems since everyone is suffering from PTCD, people don't want to think back to that time period. But if history's lessons aren't learned, then they are doomed to be repeated. And it seems to me that the COVID pandemic was likely just a test run, a warm-up to the main event. The world's governments needed something with worldwide effect, like a pandemic, to give them the necessary excuse to exercise such an unprecedented level of coordinated control over their populations. It seems COVID made for a good test run, and they passed the test with flying colors. We, the population, failed the test, sheepishly acquiescing and conforming to the ridiculous regulations. I don't know which is scarier, the world's governments literally turning Earth into a concentration camp overnight, or the hordes of mindless drones self-policing themselves and others to fall in line with whatever new illogical mandates are made. With the US holding $38 trillion of unpayable debt, continued hyperinflation and dollar devaluation will most likely lead to an eventual domino effect of collapsing currencies, recession, and depression. Knowing their Hegelian dialectic of problem-reaction-solution, and how they, quote, never let a good crisis go to waste, as Rahm Emanuel said, they will most likely use this unique time in the world's economic and political history to launch the New World Order's long-planned vision of a one-world digital currency system, to eventually do away with cash entirely, leaving everyone completely dependent on digital money. Ones and zeros in your cell phone that can be shut down if you do or say the wrong thing. Money that is inaccessible unless you jump through all the hoops, dot all the I's, and cross every T the banks and governments demand of you. They even tried to demonize cash money during COVID, claiming that us handing each other our dirty paper bills was helping spread the boogeyman disease. But there's a reason they say cash is king, and a cashless society would mean fully digital, fully traceable, and fully controlled. That means you can't earn a bit of cash from a summer job, no more money in birthday cards, no more piggy banks to teach children about the value of earning, no more saving cash under the mattress just in case, no more odd jobs from neighbors, no more charity collections or cash gifts from loved ones. What it means is banks having full control over every single penny you own. Access to all your money can be blocked at the click of a button for a variety of reasons. You will have no choice but to be taxed for every single dollar you make, and the government will decide what you can and cannot purchase. If anything you purchase is deemed questionable, suddenly all your money can be frozen. Physical cash has been used for thousands of years, giving the owner privacy, security, independence, and control over how they trade with the world. The news stories coming out during COVID, claiming people were contracting the disease from paper bills, was clear propaganda to demonize cash. Because just think about it. If you can catch COVID from cash, you can catch it from a card too. Looking forward, I expect to see more moves towards digitalization and the cashless agenda, including potentially some catalyzing worldwide event to usher in the changes they want. The 2020 test run, using flu as an excuse, worked well for the powers that be. The next event could be an asteroid threat, world war, or even a fake alien invasion, as outlined in Project Bluebeam and warned by NASA Director Wernher von Braun. If hindsight is 2020, then foresight is 2030, when they claim we will own nothing and be happy. But if we can continue to awaken the masses to their agenda, then the New World Order will be dead upon arrival. How about we own everything and be happy? How about we keep our cash, keep our physical, tangible assets, and start buying back the physical world with our digital wallets? Pay cash whenever you can, and remind people of the dangers of over-digitalization. The Iberian grid blackout on April 28, 2025, for example, caused Spain and Portugal to be unable to access their bank accounts or ATMs, and businesses couldn't run people's cards until the electrical grid was able to come back. During that time, physical cash in people's hands was the only way commerce was able to continue. Imagine a blackout that lasted for weeks or months. Imagine if that happened to a completely cashless society. If you agree with this message and want to warn people like I do, please help share this video on your social medias. Consider subscribing and leave a like or comment. Thank you.